All right. I think I'm recording now. It's 6:30 according to the innermost workings of my chronometer. And I'd like to welcome the people that will see this. I don't see anybody that's joining me, but I think I'm getting the hang of this Zoom thing. How to get what I want up here. I'll have to keep checking to see if people join, but I've been teaching these classes many years, mostly in person. I'm a drum maker, and Cedar Mountain drums. I'll burn a little sage here for me. I'm gonna set my timer so I don't go over what I'm supposed to go to. If I can find my iPhone somewhere around here. Well, I'll just keep an eye on it, but last time we went 2 hours, Bob got on. Bob Hall, my buddy. But these 12 steps in the Red Road, I guess the first thing I talk about is the gratitude, because I've been sober over 50 years now. And I got sober by going to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings back in 1975, and 80s and 90s, 2000s, 30 years. My story's worth telling, and sometimes if you're with family, everybody's talking and nobody's listening. But I say where two or more are gathered, that's this side and this side, my mama and my papa. That's the yin and the yang. That's making prayers. Remember that? You clasped your hand this way, and then you clasped them this way, and then you clasped them this way. And this thing we used to do, where this is the church, this is the steeple. Open the door and you see all the people. So back before computers, I had movie cameras where I'd take pictures and then post them on my website of my store and my flutes. But technology has always been my weakest link, so I do the best I can. So I want to talk about the gifts of the West, which is the cycle of, you can start with the breath. Thank you for the breath of life. We're spiritual beings in a human experience. Some of us are religious. My religion is fly fishing. That's what I used to say. And I've read a lot of books, I'll tell you. Not only not having to go to work, except walking down the stairs, I'm grateful. Gratitude is the purest form of prayer, and burning a little sage for myself and making prayers. And I don't care how many followers I got. What's important is that we all tell our stories. And I'll tell my story because I am Patrick. And there's a creative fire, which is my wife. She's Leo with a little bit of crab. And she's over in London now, but she's going to come back next month and visit me. I'll be 85 this year. My brother's 2 years older than me. He's 87, and I just talked to him today. I never could read his writing. He can't spell worth a damn, but he was my hero. big brother. I had a big brother in my fraternity too. I got some good friends I've had circles with, drum circles for years and years and years, and I've had some riff and raff in those circles because I didn't discern very much. Discernment. So all these lessons are how to get our wholeness back, to join those two together. So that's my book, is both and. So I can write with this hand and I can left with this hand. I can write with this hand and I can left with this hand. So, and I can do the other thing too. My stepmom, Betty Jo, used to talk in pig Latin. At te ot way uye uingde. So it was pig Latin. It was, my grandma spoke in tongues. You go to the church, and the Pentecostals. They're holy rollers. They'd get on the floor. The rapture would catch them and they'd start speaking in tongues. And I've experienced that. I was blabbling. They say you can't define the sacred. The sacred is sacred. It's if I hold myself sacred, I'll hold you sacred. You're wakan. So walking around that wheel, and we're walking into the fall, the autumn equinox. So I've had a sweat lodge for years. And I've gone in there. Natives say we go back in Mama's belly to remember who we are, because we forget when we get out here. We get to working and we lose our balance. I had some skins in this afternoon. They just came and bought a bunch of stuff from me. But at my age, I'll say I don't have to be nice. I can be real. And some people are afraid of the truth. They'll run. But if I try to emphasize, I'm afraid of the truth. But if I'm telling the truth, I ain't got nothing to fear. So the truth will set you free. So I went from a stockbroker in New York, like Dr. Bill, and then I learned recovery through balance, which is a red road, path of balance. So when I make a drum, I got a couple of drums here just to show you. Here's a Cherokee drum. This is a 7-sided drum. A 7-sided. There's 7 directions, according to, there's 7 chakras. You got your B, your A, your G, your F is your heart, the E is your belly, and the C is your lower chakra, your iron John, your wild man. So the wild man is something that the light and the dark, the shadow. Carl Jung talks about the descent down to see the shadows and the shadow dance. I learned from Oglala man how to build an altar. I was actually a whole group of men and women that owned this place up on East, which is Mount Hood is what the American name for it, but it's called East. And he had a brother called Clickatat, lived across the river, and we got the Bridge of the Gods that spanned those two, and didn't have any dams back then, so the fish were running free. And those sea-run trout become salmon. They're steelhead. And you always go back to Mother Ocean. That's the west. So you point your body to the west. I've done ceremony with the Grovant man, adopted into the Grovant tribe up at Fort Belknap, Montana by Joe Ironman. And Joe Ironman was a very beautiful man. He brushed you off with just dusted off the sky with an eagle feather, and he just bawled like a baby. When we feel it, we heal it. So we're moving into the west direction, which is the soul. So then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. That's a great song I learned in the church. You know, I grew up in a Baptist church down in Canova, West Virginia, or Cerrito, Canova, over in right on the tri-state area, right on the Mason-Dixon line. Right across from where I grew up was Kentucky. And if you went down the river, you'd get into Ohio. You weren't very far from Ohio, so it's called the tri-state area. So got a little bit of Kentucky boys, them Hatfields, and got a few McCoys from West Virginia, from Appalachia. And I grew up here in country and western music and bluegrass music and preachers. That's that's about all you heard. And they outlaw alcohol, except you could buy 3.2% beer and go across Ohio and get 6% beer. So I was young and stupid, but I was innocent. You called me Pat the Brat, because I was always into something. I remember telling my little sister, me and my brothers got into all kinds of messes. We said, Carolyn, you got garments all over you, my God. And we all just like, she said, ooh, ooh, and she'd run and tell her mother, Mama, I've got garments all over me. Her mother would laugh like crazy. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I like to watch these preachers, especially the fundamentalists now blending into our spirituality, the native way. A lot of native people are Christians, but Christ taught love each other, care about each other, carry a pipe. I carried a pipe, the pipe carrier, and we'd take those pipes into the sweat lodge and we'd make prayers. And I went over to England to teach those people how to make drums over in the Isle of Sheppey over in West England. Lynn Gosney, a beautiful woman, fellow Scorpio. She had a little community over there on the Isle of Sheep. So, it's across the way from Norway and Denmark. And I've been to the other side over in Ireland, over in the Aran Islands. I tooled around Aran for 16 days, driving on the left side of the street, and got over in the Celtic part, and couldn't read a damn thing, Gaelic. And so I've been a few places. I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Vienna, I've been to Machu Picchu. I played my flute there. And I've got lots of stories about the eagle condor prophecies, which are the eagle of the north is going to merge with the condor of the south. So we used to we used to have the Santa Fe Trail that went all the way from Mexico City, the Aztec country, all the way to Canada. There were trade routes called the Santa Fe Trail. And a lot of times I have a lot of knowledge. I've read a lot of books, but in grad school, I went back to graduate school when I sobered up in 1975 and got a master's degree in counseling and rehabilitation because I figured lend a hand to those people that are still struggling. Because we're all struggling, we're all from the Scar clan. I tell you, these 12 steps in the red road have saved my life, and it got me pulling in a way where I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being with people all colors. I don't care what color you are or what your weight is. It's like Pink, she says, you're perfect. It's just the way you are. There's nothing you need to change. So I felt like green tonight because green's the heart. And the heart of the matter is love. It's I don't see anybody's joined yet, so I'm just going to keep going on because we're entering the autumn equinox time in September, and we always do sweat lodges. We don't always do anything, but for years I've done lodges, and this is a way to prepare for ceremony. You don't have to go into a sweat lodge. You can go into a church and pray. But I learned from natives about the most generous is the one that gives away the most, not that has the most. The most generous. So I have enough, you know. I teach people values. What do you hold sacred? Well, if you don't hold yourself sacred, if I don't hold myself sacred, I can't hold you sacred. And I've learned from women and men. I've learned from Bly, Hillman, and Mead, men and the life of desire. I've learned myth and drumming. I've had some amazing masters in my life. Reinhard Flattischler. It's a good friend. Cornelia, beautiful Cornelia, a Taurus, an earth woman. I love her so much. She's so beautiful. And I appreciate wealth. Wealth is, they asked Willie Moscone why he robbed banks, and he says, well, that's where the money is. So I learned that we come through the silver gate and we go back through the gold gate. It means silver threads and golden needles. It's all those songs about the heart, Heartspace. My wife is my biggest supporter. She's my partner. We hand fast. We tied the knot on Valentine's Day in February, and that's emerging from the midnight sun, the land of the midnight sun, the Christos, the highest, the halo, connected to the stars. Grandfather Martin Highbear says, we're from the stars, we're star people. When you wish upon a star, it makes no difference where you are. So they used to sail by the stars, and compasses were helpful. But there's magnetism with the compasses. You have to learn to read them. But I learned relax in nature, and then the animals become your friends. You don't fight. You don't fight forest fires. You fight disease. We fight wars. You make these promises. We're going to have peace, and I'm going to bring peace. Well, the peacemaker was Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was, and everyone has that Christos, that crown chakra that's connected with your Father, and those legs which are connected with your earth. My grandpa was native. He says, you look with soft eyes, you don't stare at people. We call them shifty-eyed natives because their eyes were always back and forth. And the man needs to look a man in the eye and shake his hand. We didn't trust anybody that would respect you because they didn't want to look at you because that's your story. Someone's speaking, you respect them, especially if it's an elder. And native kids are taught that, respect. But they're also invited to all the ceremonies, so the kids learn through not what you say, but what you do. So I had a store there over there on 28th and Sandy called Cedar Mountain Drums, and we had my golly, a big place. I moved from something that worked to something that was bigger, and I thought I'd make more money, but my dad used to say, good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. So sometimes you have to say, I made a mistake, but I'm not a mistake. So I'm Wakan. I'm original blessing. So no matter how, there's no wrong way to pray. And have good friends. And your friends, if you got what my uncle said on his 80th birthdays, he said, if you can count your friends on one hand, it's been with you for thick and thin. And I would include my wife, Mandy, who took care of my little girl, or the little girl that I was taking care of. They just say you don't own your children. Your children are not your children. They're the future. But being an elder, I love the little ones. One of the women that taught me a lot about this technology works for Nike. And Ashley. And they're raising little Frankie. And I've had a lot of people over the years help me. Come to the drum circles, I used to do a shamanic journeying circle every Wednesday, not every Wednesday, but the fourth Wednesday I did a men's drum circle, a women's drum circle, a mixed drum circle, and a journeying circle. And I had a big old 36-inch horse drum that we journeyed on. And that drum is your heart. You got Yakam, my friend, says your first drum is boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. And if you're taking a risk, it'll go boo boo boo. Like the first time I got up to give an AA talk, I told my sponsor, I'm not getting up there. That's crazy. I'm not going to do it. He says, what's the worst thing that could happen? I said, I'll faint. He says, I'll pick you up. So I got up there and said, I didn't have to pee till I got up here. So it's like telling the truth without blame or judgment. You know who people are by not only what they say, because the world's full of trickery, but walking like you talk, walk your talk, they call it the native way. It's respect. I've got I still don't see anybody that's waiting. I hope. I want to make sure it's, I've been going about 25 minutes. So I want to make sure I'm recording this not longer than an hour and a half, because I usually go to bed about 8 o'clock, but I had a men's group last night, and I'm gonna shut this little thing down right here so I can have my full screen. So now you can see my flowers. See, I buy myself flowers, and when my wife comes, I buy her flowers. I also got a crystal here. Got a cross. I got a crystal. This crystal. Look at this thing. Look at this amethyst. I got purple on tonight. So when I'm old, I shall wear purple. Purple is blue, purple, scarlet, all the colors of the rainbow. And you make water and you'll see a rainbow. The rain and Kermit the Frog and all that stuff. I don't watch much TV anymore. I do take a dose of it. I like to watch the comedians. Recovery, 12 steps say one day at a time. Do my best today. Tomorrow might not come. I might go to sleep tonight and not wake up. I use in the spirit world now. Well, every night we die, we go into the spirit world. So the red road is, the way I learned it was, the unborn and the newborn is the first ridge of life. Like we wake up with new eyes. Say, wow, another day, like those kids. If they're loved, they get up full of curiosity and wonder. And you love them. You love them, and there's nothing more important than raising a child, especially the one inside. That's so a lot of these mothers that have left their sons have left or kicked out of the nest because they're not working, they're not doing anything except playing games on the computer. And a lot of them making a lot of money, but when you get to my age, you say, I don't need any more. I don't need any followers. I believe my website says there's a $25 donation per class. That's not for me, it's for you. My uncle taught me, he says, where your treasures are, there shall your heart be also. I finally figured out how to look at some of these pages, and now that I've kind of introduced the thing, I'd like to maybe give you something to chew on for next time. It's part of the preparation for ceremony. Whether we have a ceremony is dependent on whether the people go up there and prepare for it. Preparation is 90%. So the West is water. It's water. And I'm a double water sign, so I don't drink enough water, and I was peeing blood the other day. And I told myself this too will pass, but you need to start intentionally drinking more water, because most elders die of dehydration. They're not drinking enough water. Well, water's trusting myself, and learning the 4 agreements, which is Don't make assumptions. I get them all mixed up the fourfold way. Ruiz is always do your best today. I had a goal setting is part of earning the gifts of the four directions. And in the fall is the mirror. It's mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That's Narcissus, the late bloomers. That's the elders that have raised all those kids and sent them on their way. Hopefully they change this world for the better, because if you do your best every day, that's all you got. A non-progressive great spirit. There's nowhere to get to. They just do your best today. I cooked me some chicken soup today. I'll tell you, it's the best stuff in the world. And when I bought some halibut, I don't go out much to eat. I do when I have a friend come over. We go, there's lots of restaurants around here, really good restaurants. And on my block, my God, there's 2 coffee shops and good old Southern Fried place down there on the corner. That's one of the most popular ones in Portland. So, and we got 2 restaurants in this block. So I bought an old house here in Portland when I spent a year down in Texas. This house was built in 1894, and if you look at the drums that my wife is, in honor of our hand fasting, we hand fasted on Valentine's Day, and that means I agree to love you for a year and a day and to commit to you. And then if it works for both of us, we'll tie the knot. So Valentine's Day is renewing your vows, is not taking somebody for granted, because the beauty and the beast, the shadow. So we're moving into the shadow, the west, which is the darkness. We're moving towards All Hallow Eve, Halloween, where the veils between the living and the dead are the thinnest. Then we go into the dark night of the soul, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. And any of y'all that's been down at the bottom, Scorpios are water, so we like to get down there to the bottom of things. Bedrock, that's where you build your church. You don't build it on sand, because a castle. I was over in Europe seeing all those castles down there at the Isle of Skye and all those places my relatives came from. Scottish Pratts. My mom was a Pratt, and my dad was a Pinson. So I honor both those. I got dear friends that live down in Florida. I'm up here in the Northwest because my mother had skin cancer and had to have her whole face peeled because she got too much sun. She didn't protect her skin. But we all need the light, and we all need to touch the earth. I need to touch the earth. I say we all. I don't know, I just got a message. But I think I know how to come back. I want to take you to some of my lessons, not give you too much, because I don't want to run over. And it's nice having my buddy Bob here, but I don't know where he is. And I don't see him, so I'm here by myself. Let me see here. If I go to my photos, okay, I got this whole segment called the Red Road. And I'll tell you, carrying a pipe, which I did. These are the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good health. Good health in mind, body, spirit, and soul. Happiness. That's rotten with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous that say, we are sure our Creator wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. Lending a hand. When the hand reaches out, I can lend a hand. That's called I'm responsible. Respect, which means all respect comes from self-respect. This next one is compassion, is I care. I care. We in grad school, we had to write our own eulogy, our own funeral service. And it's like that movie Get Low, where he says, I want to have my funeral before I die. So he did. Compassion means I care. I wanted that on my tombstone. Here lies Patrick, he cared. Here's another one called quietness. So this is one of the gifts of the West, which in quietness is lynx medicine. It's also the fool, and Taro. It's a joker. So I like to watch the jesters, people that. Then generations, that means honoring all the ridges of life, the unborn, the newborn, the adults, and the elders. And then we go back into the dream. And if we're lucky, we wake up, because every day is a new day. Tomorrow never comes. That's called the non-progressive Great Spirit. This is the way that Grandfather Martin Highbear taught it. If you carry a pipe, you got to live by these lessons. Take care of yourself. Well, call me. I'm a lot better than I used to be. What they say in recovery, say, I ain't the man I want to be, but thank God I'm not the man I used to be. So respect is one of them. Now, if my friend Ashley was here, she'd show me how to make that little again. Let's see, let's go back here. Okay, that's the first one we'll talk about. I don't want to give you too much, because preparing the gifts for the gifts of the West. You might say, what are the gifts of the West? The West direction. They're gifts, and you're not entitled to any of them. You have to work for them. But you don't want to work too hard, because if your work's your play. So for years I taught play. I still do teach play. So you want to play a game of ping pong without any agenda except to keep the ball alive. How long can we keep the ball alive? That's like, that ball is our relationship. So Mandy and I love her, but I have to make conscious contact with her and tell her from my heart how much I love her. That's the hollow bone. That's the hollow bone. So let me see which one of these I want to go to. Somewhere here is west direction. Can't quite see these. Let's see. Right intentions. Oh, this is part of the eightfold path out of suffering. That's a beautiful part of the idea that life is suffering. It's Sansua, the Buddhist path, the wheel, the death wheel. There's Mara and his 3 daughters. There's one interpretation is there's the realms of suffering, and there's only one realm where you can be free from suffering. And that's the human realm. Human realm. There's heaven. That's one of the realms. Well, once you die, if you work hard now, when you die, your reward will be in heaven. So, hell, if you don't do this, you're going to hell and you're going to burn forever. So those are another realm of the hungry ghost. It's just Gabor Mate wrote this great book, In the Realm of the Hungry Ghost. He was an Auschwitz survivor, very brilliant man. I learned a lot from Gabor. I read that book. It says, you got this big mass with a real little bitty head, and he can't eat enough to sustain his mass, so he's always starved to death. No matter how much he has, he wants more and more and more. It's called greed in recovery. Greed. Do you have enough? More is better. That's just the way it is. Me and Bob Hall read that book called The Soul of Money. And I learned so much about giving, and what really has value is those little pieces of paper or those bitcoins or those insurance policies. What are you investing your time, talent, and treasure in? Those are the 3 ways they call philanthropy. And the giving is not for somebody else, it's always for you. You don't give till it hurts, you give till it feels good. Circulation is called, the potlatch, the giveaway. The most generous is the wealthiest. So, but you got to discern. Discernment's a woman's lesson. There's a story called, I teach it in my classes, it's called The Handless Maiden. A handless maiden story. It's I get this from a woman, Clarissa Pinkola Estes. It wasn't her story, but it was about the Percival and the little girl that didn't have any hands, and she had to go to the witch to ask her how to get her hands back. She says, "Well, you gotta do 4 tests." So the witch poured out a bunch of seeds, and she says, "You gotta learn how to sort those seeds, okay?" You look at them, you say, "This is a wheat seed, this is an oat seed, this is a..." She says, "You get them all sorted. It's called discernment. Who are you? Where do you go? What do you want?" So my store is open by appointment now, so I just say, "Who are you and what do you want?" I'm open by appointment. They want to come in and browse. I said, "Well, give me a key to your house and let me go browse around there, see if there's anything I want." But recovery says if you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. And Creator leads the willing. That's will, I will, not I need to, I want to. Well, one of these days, that's I will. That's will is my will, and thy will is I'm a hollow bone for spirit working through me. I am not the talker. Spirit is coming through me. Say, "Welcome to the house of the Lord. Welcome to the house of the Lord." The Lord and the lady. The lady has her quarters, the gentleman has his quarters. So I'm a gentle man, a gentleman, a southern gentleman. Well, I know how to open doors for women and respect. That's the lesson of the pipe, is learning respect. Learning if you carry a pipe, that's your left side, the bowl, and the stem is the right side. So when you join them together, whatever you pray for will be given. But be very careful what you pray for. I heard a lot of people in Spitlock say, I pray for strength. I need to get through this. I'm fighting cancer. I need strength. You don't need strength. You need to let go. Some people wear their diseases like a damn badge. Say, what's eating you? And what are you eating? Is it the resentments? Because in recovery, they say the number one offender that gets you drinking, which are anything's resentment, followed very closely by self-pity. Pour me, pour me, pour me a damn drink. That's, but if you got an attitude of gratitude, you're giving it away, because that's the paradox of AA. You got to die to live. You got to suffer to get better. You got to die. You got to give it away to keep it. And I'll figure that fourth one out. There's always, it's like the fourth day on a hill. You go up there for 4 days with no food and water and make a prayer. Say, Creator, I've forgotten my way. Point me what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, follow the drum. Follow the drum. I can't make any. I went to all my rich friends. What do you think about me making drums? I loved making them because I was making them as a hobby. I learned that up there with those people on Mount Hood. They taught me how to build bundles, dark bundles, light bundles. What feeds your spirit and what's your shadow? What's your dark side? They say, what's the facade? Is there any faces, false faces? The false face society. So, back where I'm from, they had the tobacco ties and prayer ties. They'd hang at each direction of your home. They'd go around that and smudge everything. Get rid of all the spirits that might be lingering there. You go in a motel room, you can feel everybody else's energy in there, so you bring a little medicine, just a little. But the sage is clearing. I'll let go, absolutely, of everything I know. And I take in love. I'll let go of fear. And breathe from your belly. Say, belly. Say, beware of a man whose belly does not jiggle when they laugh. Because that's one of the 4 bones I learned about. I learned from Clarissa, from Angelus Arian, about the muses, the 9 muses. I've had a lot of teachers. There's many women. Back there they had clan mothers where I was from. Scottish. My great-grandma was a Deskin. Great-great-grandma, I guess. And she was a spy for the Confederacy. She named all her kids after Southern gentlemen. And my brother Mike was a son of the American Revolution. So our ancestors fought in the Revolutionary War. So my relatives had been here a long time, and we adopted a lot of those native kids that they were killing and had scalps on. The peacemakers, a lot of stories about the peacemaker came over here, and that's the Christ consciousness, the crown chakra. So one of the gifts of the West is silence. And it's a man that can not only speak, but he can listen. And the mirror is I'm looking at myself. I'm looking myself right in the eye. So I got a mirror when I get up in my little room right to the right there, about 8 foot from my hot tub, because Scorpios like to immerse themselves in the water, baptize. That's John the Baptist. So immersion into water is trust. I'm a spiritual being in a human experience, and trust God, trust Goddess. Don't doubt, trust. Trust is the lubricant that will heal this planet. Trust has to flow, lubricate. Trust is like the in Ayurvedic medicine, it's called the vata. The pitta is the fire, the vata is the oil, and the kapha is the body. And so I take care of my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul. So we're in the season of the soul, the retrieving that little boy in there, that little girl might be lost. And the bears, usually the guardian, the Bear Creek, Martin High Bear, bless my store. Rich is actually the one that took him a pipe and asked him to bless our store. He's my partner. He's a watchman, good alcoholic. So, but I didn't know. I didn't have enough sense to know how to run a business, my God. But I had a lot of good coaches, a lot of men that had a lot of money. And you could talk to them. Say, I want to talk to your boss. I want to talk to his boss. I want to talk to his boss. My dad was wealthy. He bought a house down in Florida, down in Fort Lauderdale, on Harbor Drive there at Mercedes Drive, and had a big yacht behind his house. It was right on the. I'd get on that yacht and go fishing. It's a Bertram. Before that, he had a big Chris Craft. That's when I was drinking a lot. And I was in college, and we'd all want to go down to spring break and drive nonstop from West Virginia all the way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's where the boys are, where the girls are. All the spring break girls get out of school, and all the boys get out of school. And they go down there and party. Party hardy and eat like a horse, because when you're young, you need a lot of food. I'm an elder, I don't eat much, but I do take care of my body. My mind, I've read, oh my God, like my journals are what really feeds my spirit, is writing down. My AA sponsor says, give me a thorough written inventory of yourself. That's step 4. Made us searching and fearless. Fearless? I was full of fear, my God. That was, they said that's false evidence appearing real. Fear. Nothing real is threatened. So just tell the truth. Relax. That's what old Pete Nestus used to say. Those Indians always known if you relax, spirit comes in. If you're trying, you're lying. Always do your best. I like Robert Bly because he would pause and say, does this make any sense to anybody? The ceremony is created by the people, not by one person. not by the person at the Pope. I believe that things I've read about the Mingo lodges in West Virginia, Appalachia, there wasn't any flat places much where I was from. The hills, Mingo County, that's Chief Red Jacket. It comes from Red Jacket, West Virginia, which is an old coal town, mining town. And they grew corn as high as your knees on the 4th of July, and we're moving into the ripening time. It's just when the plants reach their maximum, like these young maidens, they start blooming. And Rumi said, was it Rumi that says, Kabir, one of those poets, says, when the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited. So when you bloom, that means be who you are, love the one you're with, and that's you. Don't let the beast get too much out of hand. Out of hand. I love that term. It's out of hand. The handless maiden. That story of the handless maiden is she had to learn how to sort those seeds. Second lesson is, and what that means really is, who are you and what do you want? You don't say, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to be? This man needs to know three things in this order: who they are, I am Patrick, where they're going. As soon as this is over, I'm going to bed. I've already fixed my coffee, and I got some chicken soup in there. So I don't know what I'll eat tomorrow, because all I've had today, and I have enough today, I got to drink water. I watered my plants. That's one of the things my beautiful Mandy, my partner, actually, most any sign has to walk through those four, around that wheel, like that. This drum I make, this is an elk drum. I had my men's group last night. Your heartbeat. And when you got, say, turn around and do the other hand. So when I make this drum, I start with myself. What do I want to manifest today? Well, usually I bite off more than I chew, and I put more into the water than I can actually make, so a lot of things spoil. But you know what one of my friends taught me was that there is no waste in nature. Grandpa had slop. He'd feed the chicken, feed the pigs, give the dogs a bone, give the dogs some good dog food. You gotta feed the one that's loyal to you. That's the dog, but there's also the cat. We had Korma around the house, a cat, and for that we had Willow Tea Gardens. My friend Willow, she had a cat. He'd go out and get birds and bring them and make offerings to us. He's a predator, the cat. The dog is loyal. And my little girls that love their daddy love dogs. Like my daughter Lindsay's got a doggy daycare business. They get really attached to those dogs. Richard Little is a friend that I made drums with over there on the Isle of Sheppey in England. I still remember Richard. He was a sheep herder, and he's herding dogs. And they round up the sheep. Amazing how they work. It's called working dogs. A lot of those terriers come from Ireland and over in Welsh, the Welsh Terrier, the Airedale Terrier. My dad always had fighting dogs. Pit bulls are the meanest, they say. They grab you and you won't let go. Like a hyena's got the strongest jaws. So bite, I lost all my teeth because all my anger was in my teeth. Just grinding them. Pretty soon I didn't have any teeth. So I organized a trip to Peru, went down there, got all my dental work done. It cost me about $1,500. If I'd have done it up here, it'd have been thousands and thousands of dollars. So take good care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, and soul. And the West is the soul. The West is the waters, the mirror. So if you get up every morning, like I got this thing in my bathroom, my little chokey, if you read Matilda, a great book by Roald Dahl over in England. Matilda had she had Miss Trunchbull's teacher, and they'd put them in the chokey. My shower's just like the chokey, it's a little stall. I don't get to stretch out, but upstairs I got a big, beautiful bathtub I can lay in. I don't do much up there. That's the upper room. That's the goddess quarters. But I go up there too, and I got a new hot water heater put. It's a little duplex up there. So I keep thinking about bigger. I need more. No, you don't. Like I start watching these YouTube things, and it says subscribe. Well, I do have my website as these. If I figure it out how to post these on my site, because I think it's really important to tell my story and your story too. But I'm a good listener. So the talking stick is what Mandy makes, but I taught her I have a talking dick. The men's circle used to have a talking dick. And that means that men are potent. We're shamed because of our potency. We are the seeds of life. We bring new life. You have to learn how to don't cast your seeds randomly, because you don't know what you're planting. So planting is the planting season is the spring. You have to plant the seeds in order to grow something. You can pray all you want to for them potatoes, but they've grown in the earth. So my sweetheart, Kitako and Jeanette, two of my dear friends, and Keith and Paul Carr, Diane, that first group I had where they all came in, and I was teaching the Red Road. I wasn't teaching the 12 steps connected with it. I was teaching the teachings of the West, the teachings of the East, the teachings of the North. It's a cycle of a day. Like we're now into got 25 more minutes left. We're now into the afternoon. This is the elder time. This is quietness. This is taking care of yourself every morning. I can usually get up at 4 o'clock, crack of dawn, because that's when it's quiet. Nobody on the streets. I can my showroom is downstairs. All the artwork, because I believe that time is art, and I love beauty. I love the beauty way, and the beauty way is you see the beauty in people, and you draw out their potential. And if somebody offends you, that's not your problem. See, that's when you're being a hollow bone. It means your life's none of your damn business. So just suit up and show up. And how you earn the gifts of these directions is a little 5-step process called volition. Volition. That's how you earn the gifts. So what's the 5 steps of volition? I believe I have that in my, let me look here. Right over here, before I might have time to show you this. Let's see here. Let me go back here to see if I have it. 5 steps of volition. You know, I've got so many more, but I just took these out for volition is clarity of intention. Like I was going to make one drum and just work on one out a day. It's a cinch by the inch. It's like how you get there is you take one step at a time. And if you're going to climb a mountain, it's best that each step is pointed towards the mountain. You ask people who they are and where they're going, they say, I don't know. Well, that's called they're drifting in the gray clouds, the not knowing. So in therapy school, counseling school, I learned they'd ask me a question. Well, if you did know, what would you do? Let me see here. Volition. Let's see what this is. 4 directions. There's north. That's great, but we don't want north. We want west. Let's see. West is. See what this is. Oh, I love this one. The holy part of what I've learned about women is the 3 steps of manifestation. I'll just get back to will. I will show up for 7 classes. I might. Well, I want to taste it before I eat it. Well, it's good to taste, have a little taste of something before you bite into it and smell it first. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark, so listen when I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice. You have not done what I ask. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve any problems, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All I ask you to do is listen, not talk or do, just hear. When you do something for me that I need to do for myself, you contribute it to my fears and feelings of inadequacy. But when you accept as a simple fact that I do feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can quit trying to convince you or understand what's behind my feelings. So please listen, just hear me. And if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn, and I'll listen to you. That's a very beautiful quote, but it doesn't have much to do with volition. Volition is spoken many ways. I had a woman that I had a relationship from Baltimore, Maryland. We had an email romance going on. I didn't know how old she was, what she looked like, or anything else. And she asked me if she could use one of my drum designs on her book cover. And I said, if you send me a picture of your book or a copy of your book. So she sent me a copy. It's called The Little One Diaries. And it was about her experience as a little girl when they told her she needed an exorcism. She needed a priest to come in because she was possessed by this spirit. And the more they tried to get it out, the stronger she became. And she wrote this book called I read that book, and I had that woman come out. I said, I'm in love with that woman. I love her. I didn't know what she looked like or anything else, but she came out, and there wasn't any chemistry there in the way of a sexual energy. It was more of a respect, and but she said the three laws for manifestation are clarity of intent, singleness of focus, and open to receive. Open to receive. Let it in. I have some friends I say, if nobody's told you they love you today, I do. They say, yeah, but I'm not that good. And they repel positive, but you say something negative about them. And I used to do play shops and nobody'd come. I started doing marketing a little different, like playing your way through the pain. That means feeling I'm scared, I'm hurt, I'm horny, I'm jealous, I'm angry. Those are feelings, those are more emotions. They don't make any sense. You can't analyze the West. It's the emotions, it's the baptism, it's the immersion. It's me getting up and getting in that hot tub. Sitting in there sometimes still. This morning I saw a raccoon looking at me, and I said, welcome, brother. And these creatures are living up in my attic, these squirrels, and I feed them. They all come at night. They're night, and most of the day you don't see much. There's hummingbirds. I got 2 hummingbird feeders out there. That's joy. That's the hummingbird in the Incan medicine wheel. I got a joy, 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 joy down in my heart. That's down in your heart. The heart of the matter. And it's happiness, joy. That little bird, not very big. But when they come, sometimes you don't see them. You don't really see that sometimes the birds are more intelligent than we are. That animals and plants have an amazing intelligence. And I love pretty flowers. And I have people come in that are really pretty, like these flowers, flowering. When that flower blooms, those bees come uninvited without anybody asking them to. That's nature. Nature's the animal realm. That's another realm of suffering. heaven, hell, the hungry ghost, greed, avarice. Say, I don't have enough. There's not enough. I need more. That's not enough. I need more. So you got 1% of the people owning most of the wealth. Wealth. What is wealth? What do you value? What do you hold sacred? When I do homework classes, I'd say, write me some questions. Like I designed that original website. Say, who owns Cedar Mountain drums? How are these drums created? Where do you get the hides? So I've got people ask me questions and I answer them and I put them on my website. Say, I love making drums. It's like start with yourself. Wake up every morning and say, I love you today. Thank you for another day. People come in and say, how are you today? I says, awake, but not as awake as I can be. So a lot of people say, I'm not bad. What the hell is that? I never understood. That's what you're not. That's not what you are. How are you? Fine. Fine. I'm just fine. Salutation. I stick the right hand out to shake. I'll stick my left hand out to shake. So it's just the heyoka in me, the contrary, but not feeding too much from the fire hose. It's 6:30, 7:30. It's got 10 minutes left. So my prayer, I had my friend Ashley bring me some incense from Tibet. She went over there. That's the father energy, is the Himalayas. That's the gongs, the bells. That's the church bells, the ringing. That's the Christ, the Jesus, the cross. You take some hape and you take that hape all through your chakras. Wow, my God, that wakes you up. It's for ceremony, those plants have a lot to teach you, but you don't get drunk on the medicine, which means there's a lot of alcoholics who are terrified of letting go, of orgasm, like letting go absolutely. But that's how it works in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's not why it works, it's how it works. So I raised millions of dollars, or my uncle taught me. So it doesn't make a difference what your goal is. You can go to the ocean with a bucket or a teaspoon, and that ocean don't care. So how much is enough? So clarifying your values. Say, who are you? I'm Patrick. Where are you going? Well, this weekend I'm heading to Bear Creek. Would you like to join me? So no, I'm busy that weekend, but if you go again, I'll go. So if I know who I am, where I'm going, and who I'm going with is none of my business, because expectations are planned resentments. That's another great quote I got. So if I expect somebody to show up and they don't, I'm disappointed. So I say, if you show up, I'll be happy. But I can get along without. I'll get along without you. What was that old song that says, got along without you before I met you, gonna get along without you now. Or these boots are made for walking. That's just what they do. One of these days, these boots are just gonna walk right over you. You. So people come in, they want a low drum, something that's low, swing low. So you have to go down to your C, which is your root chakra, so survival. And I am a survivor. My God, I'm grateful. I woke up, I took care of my body. I made prayers. I looked in the mirror there and said, Patrick, good morning. You're a beautiful man. Thank you for another day. So every morning we have to hook up, and I'm going to die tonight and go in there, and the teachers will teach me things. My brother's kind of right there on the verge of going over the other side. He comes back and forth. But he's a warrior. He's got the backbone. He stands up to bullshit. It's called the four bones: the funny bone, the backbone, the wishbone, and what's the fourth? The hollow bone. So the hollow bone's the flute. The flute, playing your flute. Well, I play the flute. I don't work the flute. I play it. And I prefer to play it within the rhythms of a woman or whoever's with me. Who are you and where are you going? What is that old Abbott and Costello? Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. I don't know means, well, if you did know, what would you do? So anyway, my men's group met last night. I told them I'm teaching this class, not for anybody else, but for me, because the giving's always for you. And I appreciate Ashley and all these other people want to volunteer, and I want to make a nonprofit, not for profit, which means the money goes back into the collective. Like Bob's Red Mill, it's a workers' owned cooperative, so cooperating with people rather than competing with people. Competition. Competition kills spirit. It's like, how about that football game? How about them Blazers? How about that? So that's play, but it's playing with where there's only one winner. There's only one crowned the king. So the king in chess can move anywhere he wants to, but he can only go one space. The queen's got all the power. So in the bee colonies, like my friend Oprah, she's not my friend. I don't know who she is, but I saw The Color Purple. I read the book. And I had some dark skin, some red skin, some yellow skin, and some white skin friends. And we're all red on the inside. I'm an elder. I respect myself. I don't do the best I can, but I excuse me. I had to cough that one up. I don't always do the best I can, but I've got enough slack and I have enough play. Like the children, like there's little Patrick in there. I'm starting to take care of him. So I can have fun by myself. I can educate myself. I've been listening to Alan Watts and Jerry Manders that wrote In the Absence of the Sacred. If you don't have the sacred in your life, you don't have the holy. It's the highest that you can go. That's Green Tara. That's the mantra I've been listening to. Om Namah. Om Tara Sutara. The mantras. uh, the throat singers of Alaska were learn how to not speak from your head up here. Learn how to drop that voice down. People come in and say, "You got any low drums? I mean, low. How low can you go?" So down is the direction of the west. Water falls. Gravity falls. You can drop a rock and that drop will fall. That's natural law. What goes up must come down. The water, the moisture, the trees, the interaction between the trees and this planet, Gaia, Mama. Well, it's still recording, and it's about 8 o'clock, so I'm going to wind it up. And you can comment on this because I'm going to post it on my website. It says to make a donation, but that's not for me, it's for you. See, there's $150 for 7 weeks of preparation, and carry yourself a mirror around. Look in that mirror. That's through the looking glass. That's Alice in Wonderland. That's you fall down into the wells. I was over in Ireland, those holy St. Bridget wells. St. Bridget was a goddess, just like Mother Teresa. That's loving kindness. That's tending to the down and out. Jesus did that. And that's what alcoholics do. Say, lend a hand if you need help. But don't give a hand out. If the hand's out, I can respond to you. But I ask you to take a test first. My sponsor did me. He says, you go to 90 meetings in 90 days and come back and see me. I'll think about being your sponsor. I was willing, so I did. And I also learned about how great it is to co-create things. Co-creation. That's Barbara Marx Hubbard. I love good massages. I like to be touched like babies do. Babies don't get touched, they die. If we don't get touched, and you've got all these ads about drugs that are going to keep us safe and allopathic medicine and all that stuff. Well, in my opinion, perspective, the body is a process. It's always changing. So the medicine wheels keep moving. If you stop, you're going to take somebody else's space. So pause is good. My friend Reinhardt says when he did a concert in Europe, there'd maybe be 2 minutes of silence before they'd start applauding. He says, you do the concert over here, everybody's clapping. They don't let it in. They don't really feel it. They see it. They don't really see it. I've heard that 1,000 times. But you really haven't heard it. Like that's what 12 years of AA did for me. Said, I ain't the man I want to be, but thank God I'm not the man I used to be. Well, I'd like to bless you all. Wish you good evening. I'm much fresher in the morning to do these classes, but I'm grateful I can learn new things, like how to do this Zoom thing. Take you on a tour of my store. That's a beautiful store down there. It's my heaven. And I didn't finish the realms, the human realms, the only one that gives us freedom out of suffering and learning intention. And we don't deserve anything. We have to earn the gifts. Earn. They pray for potatoes, but grab a hoe. I'd like to wish everybody a good night and that you sleep well. And leave your comments on our website. I don't care how many likes I got, but I didn't do that for you guys. I did it for me, and I love y'all. And have a wonderful rest of this 24-hour cycle.